57 of Income Tax Act 2025, revenue recognition on a construction and service contract. So basically under section 57 of Income Tax Act 1961, which is related to deductions on income from other sources. But under Income Tax Act 2025, the numbering has completely overwhelmed in a sequential format from section 1 to section 536. But today we will discuss on what is the changes in revenue recognition through our presentation. So let's move to our presentation. So here we will see as an auditor perspective what are changes in a revenue recognition for a construction and service contract under Income Tax Act 1961 versus Income Tax Act 2025. As we already discussed, section 57 of Income Tax Act 1961 is related to deductions on income from other sources. But now this section is moved to section 93 of Income Tax Act 2025. So now the understanding of remapping of section is a very important. So section 43 CB of Income Tax Act 1961 is related to revenue recognition on construction and service contract. But here the problem is we often had to jump between provision of the act and separately notified ICDS to determine revenue recognition. So this creates a dual layer of compliance for us. But now the section 57 of Income Tax Act 2025, which is also related to revenue recognition, but now the provision is an act itself. So now the law replaces external standard in an internal learning itself. So this reduces the need of external references and also reduce the scope of litigation. So as an auditor, it's very important to us that now ICDS is integrated in main statute itself. So we have to be carefully examine them. So first pillar of section 57 is related to percentage of completion method. And for long-term service contract and for construction contract, percentage of completion method is mandatory. But now here the formula is also given how to calculate percentage of completion method in act itself. Second pillar of a section 57 is related to straight line method, and it is applicable on a annual maintenance contract AMC type services. So now you have to understand that the revenue recognition over here is spread equally over a contract term. And the third important pillar of section 57 is related to if your service contract is 90 days or below, then instead of percentage of completion method, you can follow project completion method as well. Suppose you think that your service contract period is 90 days only, but because of some reason your service contract is extended till 100 days, and at the end of financial year you cannot report any kind of revenue because of project completion method. But now your service period is a 100 days instead of 90 days. So you have to be follow percentage of completion method. So this will create underreporting of your income, and this will be a huge litigation on you. And this will be happen in majorly in interior decorator services and similar kind of services. So it's very important to understand this and tackle this kind of situation. So in Income Tax Act 1961, the treatment of retention money is depend upon a major case laws within the year when income will accrue, the revenue will be recognized. But now in Income Tax Act provision itself in section 57 itself mentioned clearly that retention money is the part of revenue of year in which income is accrued as per accrual principle. So now we have to carefully check the same things and accordingly, if required, do the adjustments. And also we have to be check how tax treatment in incidental income. So sometime in big contract, there is a huge security deposit money. So the contractor earn heavy interest on it. So sometime contractor adjusted such interest to contract cost instead of report that income as a interest income separately. But it's very important to understand that tax treatment of that interest income is going under income from other sources, and the contract cost is a separately mentioned item. So it's very important to understand, and we have to be carefully check and examine the things. So it's very important to understand that section 57 applicable only on a construction and service contract. So if there is a sale of inventory, then section 57 is not applicable. But if the person, the developer, the builder not own the land, he just construct the land and owned by either government or someone other, then it is considered as a pure service, and then percentage of completion method is applicable. So important thing, we have to check that whether such builder own the land and the right is transferred only after completing of the final product. So it is considered as an inventory for that builder. So it is not the sale of services, it is the sale of inventory. So because of SR builder logic, so now the percentage of completion method is not applicable here. Project completion method is applicable only. So even the builder get any kind of advances, it's not required to recognize any revenue because of project completion method. So as auditor, it's our responsibility to check whether it is a service agreement or sale agreement. So depend upon the type of agreement, we have to recognize our revenue. In case of service agreement, we can follow percentage of completion method, and in case of sale agreement, we can follow project completion method. So as auditors, some responsibility in our side, we have to carefully examine the things. So if we follow project completion method because of small contract, then also we can apply the filter. What is the starting date of that service? What is the ending of date of that service? And we will carefully examine the thing, and we will see whether the revenue is recognized accordingly or not, because it's our responsibility to check everything properly. Apart from that, we have to check whether retention reconciliation statement is matched with Form 26 AS or Form 168 of Income Tax Act 2025 and with the AIS as well. So we have to be very carefully evaluate the things. And also we have to check whether total estimated cost is certified by an engineer or any project manager, because the formula of percentage of completion method is heavily depend on a estimated cost. So if it is wrong, then it is considered as a wrong, and it will be audit risk for us. So it's very important, and we have to be carefully evaluate the thing. So as an auditor, our responsibility to carefully examine books of account, and after that, where is required, we can take management representation as well. So this type of small changes in multiple sections of Income Tax Act 1961 versus Income Tax Act 2025. So this is the one changes we will discuss over here. And also the most important change of Income Tax Act 1961 versus Income Tax Act 2025 is the applicability of a tax year instead of a assessment year and previous year. So now we will conclude the same, and thank you so much for the patience listening.